Greetings, fellow humans. Bad Mark here with another transmission from MechTech Keyboards, and today we're taking a look at an interesting keyboard from Weikav. Without keeping you in further suspense, let's go ahead and take a look at what's in the box. Let's take a look at the Weikav Stars80 from Keebs. In the box, we have an accessories box and we have a user quick start guide. So included in the box, we also have the USB-A to USB-C rubberized cable and a standard switch and keycap for. Now, it's probably pretty bare because this is a bare bones kit. And here we are with the Weikav Stars80. And I've got to say, it's a nice looking board. We've got an FR4 plate. It's definitely a gasket mount, but it's one of the stiffer gasket mounts. We've got some plate mounted stabilizers. We'll have to see if we have the capacity to put in screw-in stabilizers, but today we're just going to stick with it stock. Now, this is what I was talking about as far as the design goes. It has these, I don't know, I would have called this like the crunch or the fall or the break or something along those lines. I mean, that's just me personally, but I really do like that. There are, from what I've seen in the pictures, there are LEDs down below those, so you have one at each corner. It does look like we have the ability for stepped or normal caps locks, but I don't see, well, there might be alternate layouts with a different plate. So we've got something nice to look at from up top, and then we can flip it over and we can see that we have what I like to call like a metallic reptile skin. It's very, it's got a very cool texture to it. And this is where we have the 2.4 gigahertz dongle hidden with a nice magnetic pocket. It's not a branded dongle, so probably gonna put a sticker on it just in case. One thing that I noticed or failed to notice was that there are no bolts down there. So I am going to assume, yep, we have a quick release mechanism top. Basically, it's the ball latch system, and there we can see the LEDs. All right, setting that aside, we can go ahead and, all right, we are connected directly to those LEDs, so we don't have much room here. So it does look like we have the step caps lock. We have these tadpole-like gaskets, so that's where we're getting that little bit of flex, not crazy flex, but just a little bit of flex. So, like I said, today we're going to be sticking stock with this Weikav. Let's see what we've got. All right, so for switches, I found these one day just browsing AliExpress. These are MMD Ink Orange. And while they are tactile, they list them as a rapid trigger, and it has a 50-point actuation or 50-gram actuation with a 60-gram bottom out. These should be fun to go ahead and load up on here, test out a new switch, see what it sounds like. Then I've got this set. I came across it one day on Amazon, I believe, and it is called Climbing Yellow. I believe it's a die subset. Now, obviously, it's gotten a little beat up there, but it's a cherry profile die sub. Let's go ahead and load up the switches, load up the keycap, see what we think about it, go ahead and plug it in, see what it looks like and everything, get to the specs, and then get to the sound test. I wanted to break in here real quick. So now, while this does have the center hole post cut out for the hi-fi layers, the PET layer that's above the PCB and the IXPE sheet, it doesn't have the holes for the pins. And despite this being an FR4 plate, it has a lot of flex cuts and it is quite flexy. So it's going to be a little bit more work for the top and the bottom rows. Edges, not so much, but if this is one of your first builds, I would really suggest, especially since it's so easy to opening it up and then supporting the back of each PCB socket the first time that you install switches, because that way you're going to be punching the holes through, and after that it shouldn't be that much of a problem. And if you do plan to use the alternate layout switches, obviously punch those out as well. But I want to check out these stock stabilizers. These are the palm stabilizers. They don't need clipping. They have the little pads, and it looks like they are lubricated on both the elbows and on the inside of the housing. Pull this off. Well, that's unfortunate, I guess, because of all the alternate layouts that are on here. Yeah, there's even pads for extra hot swap sockets here, but there is no support for screw-in stabilizers. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like on. Wow. Yeah, that light effect is pretty cool, I gotta say. I mean, in a world full of, you know, designs that kind of just copy themselves, I mean, yes, this is just a wedge, you know, design, but it's got this little bit of extra that just kind of, it adds that personality, it adds that customization. And I mean, if nothing else, this hobby is, you know, practically all about, you know, what the self likes. Let's go ahead and load up the keycaps, and we'll be right back. And here we are with the Weikav Stars80 all built up, and I've got to say, I'm honestly very impressed. Like I said, these MMD switches, best way I can describe them, they're a tactile switch for a linear lover, if that makes any sense, because while they do have the tactile bump, it is more of a button press as opposed to an interruption, if that makes any sense, because the whole downstroke is the bump. With these keycaps, which I did measure, they're actually 1.4. I needed to zero out my calipers, but these are actually 1.4, which I thought that made more sense because they definitely felt a little thicker to me. I was going to guess 1.5. This is a lovely build. It sounds great stock. I know I would prefer the option to have a screw-in stabilizer support on the PCB, but the fact that it has alternate layouts, I really would love to see, you know, like, hey, here's the alternate layouts, and here's where you can get the plate, or even better, here's the plate included. So function T puts us in wired mode. Function backspace is to toggle the LEDs. Function insert is going to go through the effects. Function delete is going to cycle us through colors. Function N turns off the light strip on the side. And of course, adjustment here. Just the specs. Today we're taking a look at the Weikav Stars80 V2, an aluminum 3-mode via TKL. It is listed as QMK, but the QMK source is not readily available. It has a gasket-mounted flex-cut FR4 plate with plate-mounted stabilizers and no PCB support for screw-in stabilizers. It is via programmable, has alternate key layouts, the step caps lock being the only one that can be used with the included plate. It has a 1.2 millimeter 3 and 5 pin hot swap south-facing PCB with hi-fi layers. It is preloaded with an 8,000 milliamp hour battery. Comes weighing in at 2,080 grams barebone and 2,370 grams fully loaded. The chin of this keyboard sits at 23 millimeters, while the back sits at 41 millimeters from the typing surface, providing for a default typing angle of 9 degrees. This keyboard MSRP is $499.99 on metkeys.com, links below. So really, let's be honest. I mean, what the market was a year and a half ago, this keyboard easily would have sold for $300. And I mean, that's just ballparking it. Obviously, it's a guess, but similar TKLs that I saw back then that had maybe some other design features, that's what they would be going for. To see this, I mean, yes, barebone, but $99. I mean, I remember when $99 was like, hey, I got a good deal on a plastic GMMK TKL. What we're able to buy and build nowadays, because I mean, like I said, I paid $15 for these MMD Ink Orange tactile switches. This keycap set, I want to say it was like $17.99. Again, it was on sale, And I'll have links to all these below. But 99 bucks for the base. I mean, you're talking under $140 all in, which is just amazing for this level quality keyboard. And here, I mean, just a quick sound profile, because I think it sounds pretty deep. But you guys can tell me if you agree down in the comment section below. And obviously, I'll have a full sound test here, but it sounds amazing stock. It's just incredible that this kind of keyboard can be bought for that price. Not only that, I mean, it has quick release. I mean, it's mind blowing. When it comes to this keyboard, this is a lovely built keyboard. It sounds great. Yes, it has VIA, so I can program it from my Arch workstation, so I'm happy about that. I love how it sounds stock. I want to wish everybody out there in YouTube land a wonderful rest of your day, and until the next transmission, keep calm and keyboard on.